Today we're going to learn about the addition method. The addition method is based on the addition property of equality. So basically what you're going to do is add each side of the two equations, otherwise known as adding the two equations together. So let's do an example. Here we have two equations. X plus y equals 4 and negative x plus y equals negative 2. So what you're going to do is, the first thing you're going to do is to make sure everything is lined up. What I mean by that is, you want your x's, your y's, your equal signs, and your constants to be all lined up. And what I mean by lined up is that they're right on top of each other. So we want your x's, your y's, your numbers, and equal signs all to be lined up. And then we have to check to make sure something's going to cancel. But what I mean by that is if you add these together, look what's going to happen. X minus x. That means that we have 1x minus 1x and 1x minus 1x means that they're going to cancel. So those are gone. Then we have 1y plus 1y. That's going to give us 2y equals, and then 4 minus 2, 4 added to a negative 2 is 2. And now we just solve it. And you notice what happened here. What happened was one of our variables eliminated, which gives us one variable left, and then we have a simple equation to solve. Divide both sides by 2, y equals 1. Now what we have to do is plug that back in. Now this is going to be a little more difficult than substitution because the equations are not going to be set up for you. So what you're going to have to do is take this one and plug it in either here or here. It does not matter the equation. I'm going to plug it into the first equation. So that's going to give me x plus y, and it says y is 1, so that's what I plug in, equals 4. So then I subtract 1 on both sides, x equals 3, and therefore my answer is 3, 1. And therefore, the answer to this system is 3, 1. In the next example, I have x equals 2y plus 2. And then I also have 2x plus 2y equals 1. Now in this equation, we cannot add them up, and here's why. Your x's are lined up, your y's look like they're lined up, and your numbers are lined up. But look at our equal signs. They are not lined up. Keep in mind that we have to make sure everything is lined up, and here's the problem why they're not. In the first equation, you only have the x on the left side of the equal sign. On the bottom, I have the x and y. We have to make them the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 2y and I'm going to bring it over here by subtracting 2y. So what I'm going to do is I have x equals 2y plus 2. I have to subtract 2y on both sides. That gives me x minus 2y equals 2. Now on the bottom, I don't have to change anything. So those are my two equations. Now look at them. Your x's, your y's, your equal sign, and your numbers are all lined up. So now I add them together. 1x plus 2x gives you 3x. Your y's cancel. Every time something has to cancel. So negative 2y plus 2y cancels. Equals 2 plus 1 gives me 3. I divide both sides by 3. X equals 1. So I'm going to take my 1, pick an equation, it does not matter. You can plug it into this equation, this equation, this equation, it doesn't matter. So this 1, I'm going to plug into the second equation. So 2x plus 2y equals 1. I'm plugging it in for x. So that'd be 2 plus 2y equals 1. Subtract 2 on both sides. 2y equals negative 1. Divide by 2. Y equals negative 1/2. Therefore, my final answer is my x value is 1. My y value is negative 1/2. So that is my answer. Alright, let's look at some examples. Example number 1. X plus y equals 15 and negative x plus 3y equals negative 17. Or I'm sorry, negative 7. Step 1. This must always be step 1. Is everything lined up? Do we have our x terms, y terms, equal signs, And numbers lined up, yes. And here's why. Look at the equal sign. You have your x and y terms both on the left side, and your numbers are on the right. So, will something cancel? Yes, today everything will cancel. So x minus x, that's gone. 1y plus 3y is 4y. 15 minus 7, that gives us 8. Divide both sides by 4, and we get a y value of 2. I now have to take that 2 and pick an equation. The first one looks easier to me, so I'm going to plug it in right there. So that's going to give me x plus 2 equals 15. I subtract 2 on both sides, x equals 13. Therefore, my answer is 13, 2. All right, in our second example, 2x plus y equals 3, and negative x minus y equals 3. Look at them, see if everything's lined up. I always suggest that you put the x and y on the left side of the equation. Are the x and y's both on the left side? Yes, and your number's on the right. So let's add them together. 2x minus 1x is x. Y's cancel. Equals 3 plus 3, 6. Done. Take that 6, pick which equation you want to plug it back into. I'm going to plug it in right there. That gives me 2 times 6 plus y equals 3. 12 plus y equals 3. Subtract 12. Y equals negative 9. Therefore, my answer is x is 6, y is negative 9, and my answer is 6, negative 9. Example number 3. 8y equals 14 plus 2x, and 2x plus 7y equals 16. Now, if you'll notice, nothing is lined up. So you have to get everything lined up first. My suggestion would be get your x's and y's all on the left side of the equation, and then your number on the right side. So the second equation is fine. We have our x, our y, our equal sign, and our 16. So if you look, our y is over here on the first equation, and your number's on the right side, but that 2x has to move over here, and the opposite of plus 2x would be minus 2x. So if I move that over, subtract 2x on both sides, you would get minus 2x plus 8y equals 14. Notice what I did. All I did was take that 2x, subtracted 2x on both sides, and I brought it over. I just didn't show that step. If you want to do minus 2x, you can. The second equation, 2x plus 7y equals 16, doesn't change. And now look at it. X, y, and your numbers all line up. Combine them. X's cancel. 8y plus 7y is 15y. 14 plus 16 is 30. I now divide both sides by 15. You get y equals 2. I now take that 2, plug it into, I'm just going to plug it in here to the second equation. 2x plus 7 times 2 equals 16. That gives me 2x plus 14 equals 16. I subtract 14 on both sides. That gives me 2x equals 2. I divide both sides by 2. I get x equals 2. Therefore, my answer, x is 2, y is 2, so I have the ordered pair 2, 2. We have 2 more examples left. Example number 4. 4x minus y equals 7, and 3x minus 6 minus y, in parentheses, equals 1. The first thing you have to do is you can't line anything up until you simplify. So let's first distribute and simplify the second equation. So the second equation we distribute is going to be 3x minus 6 plus y equals 1. Now we also have a problem. Look at our first equation. Once again, we have x and our y on the left, our number on the right. We do have our x and our y, but this number can't be here. It has to move to the right side. So we're going to add 6, and that's going to give me 3x plus y equals 7. Now look at everything is in standard form. It's all ready to go. Now, here's my suggestion. I'm going to rewrite the first equation over to the right, and then our second equation, which I've simplified, I'm going to write underneath it. That way you can stay organized. So this equation came over. This equation came over as well. Everything is now lined up. Look at it. It's all lined up. X's and Y's are in order to the left side of the equal sign, and then we have our 7s on the right. So now, I'm going to add them together. That gives me 4x plus 3x, which is 7x. The y's cancel, equals 14. I divide both sides by 7. I get x equals 2. I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to plug it, let's say I'm going to plug it right here. Once again, you can plug it into either equation. So 3 times 2 plus y equals 7. That gives me 6 plus y equals 7. Subtract 6, y equals 1. Therefore my answer, x is 2, y is 1, and my answer is 2, 1 to my system of equations. Number 5, last example. 2 packages have a total weight of 39 pounds. One package weighs 7 pounds more than the other package. Find the weight of each package. Step 1, you have 2 equations. Each sentence will be an equation. So since we have 2 packages, let's let one of them be x and the other one be y. We know in the first sentence that 2 packages have a total weight of 39 pounds. Well, that means that if you have x plus y, x and y are your 2 packages, the total weight, which means you add them together, gives you 39 pounds. The second sentence says 1 package weighs. Well, that means 1 package, so let's say package x, weighs or is 7 more than the other. So how would you write 7 more than the other? So that would be 7 plus y. Now if you notice, our x and y is to the left side of the equation. Here it's only the x. So I have to move my y over. So I'm going to subtract my y, subtract my y. That would give me x minus y equals 7. And then the first equation doesn't change. Add them together. 1x plus 1x is 2x. 39 plus 7 gives me 46. Divide by 2. X equals 23. So I'm going to take that 23, plug it in, let's say right here. So that gives me 23 plus y equals 39. Subtract 23 on both sides. Y equals 16. So what does that mean? What is the weight of each package? Well, one package is 23 pounds. The other package is 16 pounds. So my answer does not need to be written as an ordered pair because we're actually finding the value of something. There is a label. So 23 pounds and 16 pounds is the answer to this equation.